I'll be testing my cake decorating skills again today. Let's make a castle cake. You're watching the Bear Pantry Show. So to make the castle cake, I'm going to need a couple of cakes. So I'm starting with a double recipe of my recipe that I have at the side already for the Belizean light cake. Of course, no castle cake would be fun without separating the batter into 4 and putting some beautiful colors to make it tie-dye. You're really going to need 2 square cakes like this, but I only have 1 pan, so I'm going to end up using this rectangular pan and just cut it in half. And then I'm going to make a bigger cake, a 9 by 13 in this pan. And so essentially we're going to have 2 cakes to make this castle cake. And they're ready for the oven. Aren't they just gorgeous? Alright, so the cakes are done. And we want them to sit on the cooling rack until they're completely cooled. Then I'll show you what we do next. When the cake cools down to room temperature, then just go ahead and stick it in the refrigerator for about a half hour to an hour. That will make it easier to carve. So today I'm picking up where I left off yesterday. I made the cakes and I put them in the refrigerator to chill. I totally expected to just have them there for about an hour before I started carving and decorating, but then we had to shut production down on the show because the little town that I live in was hit by some Santa Ana winds. The gusts were actually up to 75 miles an hour. As a matter of fact, the whole of Southern California were hit by these winds, but the little town that I live in got it worse. The news crews were here, the trees were falling, the whole works. So I had to shut things down to go help Joe and the children batten down the hatches. Take a look at this next clip to see how powerful those winds were. Cover your ears, okay? Winds, but only when they're gusting up to like 30-35 miles an hour. I don't like them when they get so scary and just horrible. Right now Joe and Jory are in the garage fixing my garage door because it was doing some damage to it, and I have a hurricane reinforced garage door, okay? But anyways, let's get back to our cooking. I want to show you how the cakes look right now, and I want to show you the ingredients that you're gonna need so that we can start decorating our beautiful castle cake. The larger cake is 9 by 13 and the smaller one is 6 by 10. We're going to be needing waffle ice cream cones. I'm using store-bought frosting because I don't want to make my own. And also at this time of the year, the sprinkles come free and they call it funfetti. I'm using double stuffed Oreo cookies. These are actually my favorite. I love the Skittles for the beautiful colors. The sugar wafer cookies are going to be a part of the castle, and my son Joshua actually loves these. The Kit Kats, all we need are the smaller ones, not the jumbo. Reese's Buttercups are because Jada actually loved these, and we're using peanut butter M&Ms. I usually buy these ready-made from the store because if not, I'm going to have to cut a box, a cardboard box, and wrap it with aluminum foil to make the tray that the cake's going to sit on. Now what I'm doing here is cutting a strip off of my bigger cake because I had this idea that I wanted to make a tower to go with this castle. I'm using the small lid of a mason jar to cut out these circles to make this tower. But as you can see, it didn't work. My carving skills were not up to par, and basically this is lopsided and slanted and looks more like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I may end up omitting that. The smaller cake, all I'm doing is cutting it straight in half. This is going to be our house. I'm going to use the first half to cut like an A and B panel out of it. And look how beautiful the cake looks inside, you guys. I love using the dye to make these beautiful colorful cakes. And I know the dyes are not healthy for us, but we only use them once in a while, and Halloween is coming up and I wanted this cake to look wacky. So I'm going to use my second half and I'm going to cut it diagonally on both ways, okay? And I just want to hold it really well so I don't cut my finger and the cake doesn't slip and then it gets cut all crooked. And so this is the roof of the house, and what I'm going to do is invite Joe in to help me carve this really good because he's good at this type of stuff. I'm so lucky to have a husband that knows how to cook and also is artistically inclined, and always so happy to lend a hand here at the Bear Pantry Show. This is my big cake. I really wished I hadn't cut that strip off to try to do that tower, but you know what? I had to try. And so what I'm doing here is using an Oreo cookie, and I'm making corners of this cake. And the Oreo cookie is going to be, they're going to serve as posts. you know, for the four corners of this cake. So I want to cut it really neat. I'm using a carving knife, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut out all four corners, and then I'm going to test it to see how it's going to look. And see, these are going to be our posts. Let me see where my little house is going to go. So I'm just kind of testing my props here. And the only thing left now to do is to test to see what sugar cookies are going to be for the roof, what color I want, and to also go on ahead and frost the cake. And the frosting doesn't have to look pretty. I'm using it more like a glue. See, I just put a little piece in between these two cakes, so when I set it down here, it won't move, especially when we start moving the cake around. And basically, I frosted the roof already, and I'm frosting between the Oreo cookies. And look how the frosting looks. I tell you, I don't know how to frost cakes at all, but it's okay because we're going to be tossing things on top of this to decorate it. Look, I chose yellow for the roof, and this is the sugar wafer cookies, and I'm going to put pink for the house. The Kit Kat we're going to use as a wall around the castle, and you can also use a piece as a drawbridge, but I decided not to do the drawbridge on this one. And all we want to do is kind of set it around. I'm going to use the Skittles, the M&Ms, and the sprinkles to just toss on top of this cake to beautifully decorate it, actually to bling it out completely. So after frosting the cake, I soon realized that I needed help in decorating the cake. So Jada came in and she helped me with cleaning up the mess as I went along. She helped me with opening the Kit Kats and sticking them onto the cake and so on, and all the different candies. And so I'm telling you guys that so that you can involve somebody else in this cake decorating, right? Involve the kids especially. They'll have fun sticking the candies all over the cake and the sprinkles and stuff like that. So I want you guys to now go ahead and take a look at what the finished product looks like. Here's the finished product. The posts here are Oreo cookies, and I have frosting between them so they could stand up real good. Jada used these waffle cones for like the steeple parts. There's 4 of them, 4 peaks, and she put the Reese's Buttercups in between, like right underneath there, so they would stand up better. Here we're using the M&Ms and the Skittles, and I got the Skittles because they had a lot of different colors in them, just to put around. And this is the front of our little castle thing here. And so this sugar cookie thing there, or sugar wafer, whatever that is the door, and up here is like a window. And look at our roof. This is either zinc or thatch, and this is the sugar cookies again, the yellow ones, and the house is made out of the pink. And here's the back part of the house, and look how lovely this looks. I am so pleased with this. So this is our castle. I think it came out just gorgeous, especially for people who were just like engineering this in their head just a day ago, right? Beautiful, isn't it? I want to say thank you for all the people who made it to the end. This is what we ended up using. Almost the whole pack of Oreo cookies. So 1 pack of Oreo cookie is what we'll need. The Skittles, we didn't use a whole lot of it, and we truly didn't need it. I just bought it because I like the colors. The M&Ms were fine. I had a little bit of leftover M&Ms from the last cake I did, so I used that plus this, and we still have some left. So if we didn't do the Skittles, we could have do the whole bag of M&Ms. So 1 bag of M&M, definitely. From these wafers, I got a package that had all yellow because I knew I wanted the roof to be yellow, and I got one assorted. We used pink for parts of the house. So I would say 2 packages of these wafer cookies, and these are going to be gone because every one of my kids love these and we never buy them. The Reese's weren't really necessary. Jada ended up using them to hold up the cone part for the castle dome looking thing, the peak thing. It wasn't really needed, but she used it because she said it held up better. I think she just used it because we had it, okay? And then the frosting, you're gonna need 2 because we really used all of this and then a little bit of this one. This is about half gone. And as far as the sprinkles go, we only needed 1 pack. See, this is intact still. And we didn't end up using our cake. We should have really made cupcakes if we wanted to make that steeple looking thing, because it was hard for us to carve this round. I'm sure somebody that's more professional would be able to do it better than we did. But because we couldn't do it, we decided not to put it on there, okay? And don't forget our Kit Kat. Remember, we got 3 packages of these little bitty ones. And we ended up using 2 packages plus 2, and we needed the 2. So buy 3 packages if you're going to do this, all right? So that's what you're going to need. To purchase copies of my book, just visit my website at bearpantryshow.com and click on the store tab. Even Joe had to confess that this cake came out just great. He didn't have much hope for it when I first started because I was really messing up the roof, and then he took over and fixed the problem for me. And when he came back from running his errands, he's like, wow, that came out really good. I didn't have much hope for it. But thanks to the kids, they got involved and they helped me. And I was so happy to have their help. And you guys know my kids are old, right? They're 24, 22, and 17. But they had such fun doing this with me. Can you imagine if you're doing this with younger kids, how much fun they'll have sticking the candies all over the cake and the ice cream cone and the cookies and everything else? I promise you this is going to be a fun afternoon if you guys decide to do this. And you can use cake from a box. But I found that the cakes are kind of flimsy and they break easily when you get them from the box, so that's why I made my own cake. You guys know I have the recipe at the site already. I have the one where you make it with the milk, the evaporated milk, and I have the one where you make it with just the pineapple juice. And you put it in the fridge first and it gets, you know, hard and stiff, and you can carve it into anything you want to carve it into. I hope you guys try this and tell me how it comes out, all right? Thank you guys so much for watching, for liking, for picking up the book, for sharing the show with your friends and family, and for everything that you do to support me. Until I see you guys again, take care. Don't forget to stop by my vlog. Right here on YouTube, it's called Babs Bear Talk. Please be sure to stop by my review channel right here on YouTube. It's called Bear Pantry Talk.